Hey! 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 Hi. Hello. I want to talk about, something. Something special. I love Bobobo-bo-bobobo. And I hope after this, you'll watch it and love it too. Bobobo-bo-bobobo, or Bobobo for short, is a manga/anime series that was in Shonen Jump in the very early 2000s. It's a comedy shonen about a goofy world where the bald empire is trying to take everyone's hair, and our afro-wearing protagonist Bobobo has a problem with that. Now what makes this special? The humor style? Oh, it's random. Really random. Like 5-second skits, and costume changes, and voice changes, and all sorts of different wacky and different skits that have no connection to what's going on. It's just totally random. It's like a fever dream come to life. And somehow, we work through fights with these random skits. Even though they make no sense. I mean, this is the show that was known for being too weird, even for the Japanese. That's the Japanese talking about the reason of why the anime was eventually cancelled before the finale. Before I get started, I should make a note for a few things. First, the West only received 6 volumes of the manga, and they start partway through. I think what they ended up translating as the one-shot and then 5 volumes after that is actually volumes 9 through 15. And the anime, unfortunately, doesn't have an ending. It was cut a few episodes short of the finale. And by a few episodes, I mean possibly just 1 episode before the finale.
Here's the sign! The sign says it's the end!
Are you kidding? Is this how our show ends?
So be prepared for that if you're just going off of exclusively what was released in the West, you're not going to get a satisfying ending to the series. And even if you finish the anime, even in its Japanese subtitled format, you're still going to have to switch over to the manga for the last few chapters. So let me just prepare you for that. But the journey and the moment-to-moment humor is to die for. If you love absurd humor, that honestly I think has aged incredibly well. It might have been thinking ahead of its time, like how many people didn't think Parasite would do well in the 80s, because its form of horror would actually be popularized later in the 2010s. Same thing for Bobo's humor. It was just a decade or two early. The art style also does a great job assisting with the humor. Its art style rapidly changes from these super serious tones to this really lighthearted, goofy gag stuff. And honestly, even though the art is nothing to really stare at and appreciate, it really assists with just driving home that this is just a wacky, goofy adventure where anything goes. It's just incredibly funny, and I love it. The characters are so random. Honestly, it had a really big impact on my form of humor as a kid when I was watching it on those Toonami late blocks. And not a lot of people talk about it anymore, even though, like I said, I think it would do better today than it did when it originally aired in the early 2000s. Its humor has aged really well to keep up with the absurdity of it. And I think it's just a great thing just to watch and to laugh at, turn the brain off, because if you dare to think about this show, you're just gonna get a splitting headache. Also, for this one, I'm gonna insist you watch the dub. Usually I don't care. Dubs, subs, they're both pretty good. Pick whichever one you want. But for this one, I think the dub really helps with the timing and to drive home the different funny voices that they do. Even though it is an early 2000s dub and doesn't really meet any kind of quality that today's standards have set, I think that kind of adds to the humor of it, just that the acting is just all over the place and purposefully hammy to drive home some of the characters.
Now you two are traveling while battling against the hare hunt troops, right?
Here goes.
Is it tasty?
Naturally. You didn't use soy sauce!
Papa Rocks or Don Patch, depending on if you're reading the manga or watching the anime, if it's in Japanese or in English. The dude has 2 names no matter what, and your guess is as good as mine as to which one they're going for. But that character, his overhammed voice acting, just hammers home what kind of character Don Patch is. It honestly just assists with it, and Bobobo's grandiose, yes, call me Bobobo.
Sure!
That whole shtick works out so well. And they only have one character that keeps you grounded throughout the whole thing. The heroine, Beauty. Oh my god, she is the eyes that we're supposed to see it through, and she's just as confused as we are in all the hijinks that her characters are getting up to. And by god, does it make the whole thing beautiful. Seriously, if you want some really good comedy anime, and you don't mind reaching back a little bit, go watch the English dub of Bobobo. I can't recommend it enough. It reminds me of kind of like Vine humor, just scrolling through 6 seconds of random skits, one after the other. That's exactly what this is. Honestly, you're doing yourself a disservice by not watching it, and all of the anime puns that come after. This thing comes after Fist of the North Star, Dragon Ball Z. It's going for some heavy-hitting shonen references, and it's just parodying them before Gintama even could be conceived of. It was far too ahead of its time and cut too soon, but if you don't mind any of that, and you're just on for the adventure and the laughs, oh, there is a lot to be had here. So please, go watch Bobobo.
Here, Sushi Boy, give him something good. Here's your chance. Break a leg. It's your time. They're waiting for you. Now go blow their minds.
Okay. Thank you. And now I'd like to do my rendition of Ain't That a Hit in the Head? A one-er, a two-er. Hey there.
Was that a doggy ball? They are loving me.
Nice shot.